In this video, we're going to look at gaseous exchange mechanisms in different organisms. We're going to talk about respiration as the need for gaseous exchange mechanisms. Then we're going to look at a few different examples of these gaseous exchange mechanisms, including the lungs, the tracheae, gills, and stomata. In a previous video, we've looked at respiration as an equation that provides energy to all the cells in all living organisms. You'll remember that respiration occurs in the mitochondria inside the cells, and that one of the reactants for respiration is oxygen. So therefore, all living things need oxygen for them to live. And different organisms have different ways of getting this oxygen and other gases into their body. The first example of a gaseous exchange mechanism, which we'll look at, is the lungs. The lungs are found in mammals and consist of a vast number of small air sacs called alveoli. The alveoli in the lungs, the air sacs, have a very thin cell wall. In fact, it's only 1 cell thick. And on the other side of that cell wall, they're in direct contact with the capillaries. And the capillaries are a blood vessel, which also has a cell wall, which is 1 cell thick. So in the lungs, in the alveoli of the lungs, there's only 2 cells between the air and the blood. And this means that oxygen is able to diffuse from the air into the blood, and carbon dioxide can diffuse across the membrane from the blood back into the air. Not all animals have lungs, and not all animals have lungs that are as well formed as ours. Some have a lower version of lungs, but insects, because they don't have an enclosed circulatory system, so they don't have blood inside them, they have a series of tubes going through their body, and these tubes are called tracheae. And the tracheae penetrate right through their body to all the different cells, as well as having a couple of air sacs in them, where the oxygen that they need can diffuse from the air in the air sac or the tracheae into the hemolymph, which is like blood for insects. The air enters the tracheae, the system of tubes, by pores which are found on either side of the abdomen called spiracles. And different animals have different amounts of spiracles on the side, and those spiracles can actually open up and close depending on what's needed. Fish, on the other hand, and other aquatic animals have specialized structures called gills. And these gills extract oxygen from the water. And because the water has much less oxygen in it than in the air, because it has to be dissolved into the water, gills have a much larger surface area than lungs. So lungs already have a very large surface area, and gills have an even larger surface area. And the gills are able to spread out in the water and increase their surface area. Plants also need to take in gases to live. And I said before that all organisms use respiration, and this is also true of plants. Plants do respire, and they need oxygen for that respiration. However, the difference with plants is they also have the process of photosynthesis happening, which is carbon dioxide and sunlight getting turned into oxygen and sugar. So their process of respiration is fed by their process of photosynthesis, causing a deficit in carbon dioxide. So they actually need to take carbon dioxide into their leaves to get to the chloroplasts, and they expel excess oxygen. They do this by pores on the underside of the leaves called stomata. And stomata allow air and, most importantly, the carbon dioxide to pass into the spongy mesophyll cells, which are the cells that contain the chloroplasts in the leaf. So in this video, we have looked at respiration as the need to have gaseous exchange mechanisms in all organisms. We've looked at the lungs, which are specialized structures in mammals and a few other animals that have alveoli. We've looked at the tracheae, which are found in insects, which are very small tubes that run through the insect's body with spiracles at the opening. We've looked at gills, which are found in fish and allow the fish to take oxygen or the dissolved oxygen out of the water. And we've looked at stomata, which are holes on the underside of leaves, which allow plants to take carbon dioxide from the air and expel the oxygen.